It is good to be back here on Primetime. As we begin draft week, we have 6 epic matches, all with draft implications. It's a whole lot of action tonight, and also on Thursday. So strap on in as we begin our opening bout of the evening. It's time to get into our opening bout, a draft matchup. The winner stays on Primetime. The loser heads to Breakdown as we welcome the Monster Abyss to his debut match here in IPW.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from parts unknown, weighing in at 350 pounds. He is the Monster Abyss!
An all-time legend of the game, probably one of the biggest names in TNA, who surprisingly never won the big gold in TNA. Former tag team champion there though, teaming alongside the likes of Crazy Steve to earn the gold. Yeah, realistically, you would have expected him in his tenure to have won the World Championship, but no, he never made it there, and then retired, obviously, afterwards. And tonight, a difficult opponent as the Great Khali also makes his IPW debut.
And his opponent from Punjab, India, weighing in at 347 pounds, the Great Khali!
Surprisingly, Khali is a former world heavyweight champion here in WWE. And these two big boys of the game surprisingly come into this matchup even footing in IPW. Only one can walk away victorious. Only one can stay on the Primetime brand. And the loser will be heading to Thursday night. The winner stays on Tuesdays. And to be honest, the drafts are starting to take place. Well, we're starting to form a roster. We know the champions, the Undisputed World Heavyweight Champion and Undisputed Women's World Champion, will be staying on Tuesdays. The red belt holders, the emerald belt holder, heading to Thursday night. Obviously tonight, a action-packed show where we are going to be seeing some belts defended later on tonight. That since the showdown, obviously we had that full 28 days of no championship defending, just pure matchups for the tournament. We are going to be seeing some of them belts now potentially shifting hands to people that have faced off against the champion before, and that is not just the television division, it is also the women's television. And we've now also got a mixed tag championship bout on tonight's show. We haven't seen a lot of these stars in IPW compete, bar the few in the main event. But it's a nice rollback into the 2 shows a week plus the underground. And as we start to get going, a lot of the things that we will be seeing will just return to normal. And this is going to potentially be one of them normalities, is the big boys competing in IPW. The likes of the Great Khali, Abyss, Omos. We also then have in the women's division some big girls there in China, Nia Jax, who, let's be honest, has put on some hell of a matches in that Showdown tournament. Falling short, obviously, at the live event on the Saturday. Tonight, as we watch on, we're going to potentially see new Champions Crown. That is going to be epic as we focus back in on this match. Abyss taking control here. He's grounded the Great Khali, which is never an easy thing to do, let's be honest. A 7-foot-tall Punjabi playboy is never a man to stay down for long. And this is why he is so hard to lift. You typically have to just deliver some very big strikes to keep him down. As now Khali threw a drop kick from him. You don't typically see that out of his arsenal. As this we do see is him just lifting people up with one arm. It's never as easy as it looks, let's be honest. Now, Abyss, we have kind of expected to put on some pretty big matches, as that is a big maneuver. Just dropping down Great Khali, and you have to think that he would fit nicely in the television division as, oh my word, torture rack backbreaker is such a potent maneuver. Now, as we've come over out of the Showdown countouts, well, they're not worth anything really in terms of pointage. There's no value in it as the black hole slam comes through. Abyss catches Khali on the re-entry to the ring. Gets a 2 count. The Punjabi playboy staying alive. But his offense has been subdued in this match. It's been all Abyss. As we continue to watch on. The monster being pushed off. Finally, Khali trying to take control into this match. You have to be wary. Obviously, we've seen the black hole slam now. Khali has the Khali bomb. He potentially also has the ability to squash people's heads like a grape. I think Abyss is aware of that. That's why his mass is there. But here we go. Khali up. The double-handed choke slam just sends down Abyss to the mat. And now the brain being squashed. The jaw, the grip on the head of Abyss. Not enough to put him out. That vice grip, it just is so goddamn squeezy. It's hard to think. You're very much unable to process as your brain swells up with the pressure being applied. Khali taking control now of this matchup ever since really the black hole slam. Abyss has been on the back foot. Khali watching on as he goes to the outside. Applying the pressure, keeping Abyss down. The big man has his big boot caught, and this is gonna be a potent choke slam from Abyss. Just so much elevation on that. Khali just taking a massive ride, and Abyss fires up. He has Khali on the barricade, on the ropes. As I think we might be seeing a return to the ring. Khali sends in Abyss. And both men re-enter the ring. Stomping away at the hand goes Khali. And the big man lining his shot up. And I think the skull of Abyss being squashed once again. But the monster fighting back. Jawbreaker puts a staggered Khali in the way of maybe then I thought Abyss would have grabbed a hold of him. In the end, it's actually Khali taking control, lining his shot up. The big man charging in with a shoulder tackle. Abyss now not able to unload as a chop across the skull from Khali sends the big man down. Both men in it. A black hole slam connecting in the opener. 1, 2, no. Nearly. It was almost certainly a game winner. If it came a little later, Khali still has energy to throw more than I do right now, but he is a big boy with a lot of resiliency. Abyss now being counted out. And no matter the result of this one, whichever show these two lend up on, it's gonna be epic regardless, as we tie up here on the outside. Abyss, military press. Oh my word! Holy hell! Military press choke slam from Abyss. Oh my word. That was... And what a welcoming committee. Jesus Christ. Khali just sent crashing to the floor, but Abyss is still staggered. Referee up to 7. Make that an 8. Abyss against the barricade. He's gonna be counted out in a second. And he breaks the count in time. And he's got Khali hooked up. Torture rack. Shoulder back breaker. Into the pin he goes. 1, 2. No. Nearly. On the brink of being counted out. Abyss is firing back. And he's stepping up. Hooks up Khali. Can't go for the black hole slam just yet. And instead, a big boot hits the cranium of Abyss. The Punjabi playboy. Target locked. The skull of Abyss being crushed. Will he tap? No. 3 times Khali has locked it in. But for a 3rd time, it's not got the job done. And now Abyss lines up Khali for a sidewalk slam. The monster continuing the pressure. Hooks him up. Choke slam here maybe. No. Khali out. Instead, it's a choke slam. No, it's a chop across the cranium. It looked like Khali might have gone choke slam. It's certainly in his repertoire. But for now, both these big men really giving it their all in our opener. Running STO from Abyss. Turning the favor of this match towards himself as he's lining up Khali. Up and down the black hole slam connects into the pin. 1, 2, 3. And Abyss is staying on Tuesday nights. Honestly, this match had it all. The big men were flying. Not through their own volition, but from each other's just high impact offense. Like this, just destroying the back of Khali. And Khali, he had this match. Oh my word, that looked weird. But Khali had this match 3 times. He had the skull of Abyss in a balloon popping situation. But it just wasn't enough. And Abyss stayed alive, kept throwing his big maneuvers around, and just put an end to Kali. Then Black Hole slams just around the world, such fast velocity on the slam. We're not going to get to see the military press maneuver, it seems, but goddamn, that was potent as the ref's ass. Also a big weapon. What a great opener by these two. But as we say, Abyss staying on Tuesdays, Kali heads to Thursday nights. Their debut was just perfect from both these men.
Here is your winner. He is the monster, Abyss!
Well, with this one in the books, let's move over to our second draft-related matchup here tonight. So our second bout of the evening is slightly more interesting. We already know that Damage Control, Io Sky, Dakota Kai, Asuka and Kairi are all heading to Breakdown, and Fatal Influence is staying on Tuesday nights.
The following contest is a tag team match set for one fall. Introducing first, representing Damage Control from Auckland, New Zealand, Dakota Kai.
But both these teams are looking to recruit. A new member will be added to one of these two teams after this match. And whoever wins gets that member, and they get to stay on Tuesday nights. Or go to Thursday nights. Whichever team wins gets that opportunity. As obviously we welcome one member of Damage Control in Dakota Kai. And Io Sky brings the Wub Wubs as the other member.
And her partner, representing Damage Control from Tokyo, Japan, Io Sky.
A lot of history between Fatal Influence and Damage Control here in IPW. As at the showdown, Io Sky got the better of the Undisputed Women's World Champion and got to the Grand Finals. Obviously falling short to our new red belt holder, Liv Morgan. But tonight, Io looking to bounce back after obviously taking down Big Fallon Henley at the live event. She gets to try and do it again, this time in tag action. But tag actions are quite different scenario. This Fatal Influence are a beast of a team.
And the undisputed Women's World Champions, Fallon Henley and JCJ, Fatal Influence.
While Mike Rome actually got the name slightly wrong in terms of the championship holder, Henley still maintains the championship, not defending it tonight against Io, due to the fact that we are in draft times. And Io obviously drafted to Thursday nights with the entirety of Damage Control, but right now some very potent things could happen. Who will be a fourth member of Fatal Influence if they are to win? It's certainly a wild proposition. Obviously, later on tonight, Jasmine Nix will be in action in the television championship match. Obviously, beating Natalia during the showdown earned her this shot alongside two other women. But as we focus in on this bout, it's the face maneuver. Dakota locking it in onto Henley. You have to feel that a lot of these women, especially Fatal Influence, up in the air in terms of who their next opponents will be. And the fact that there isn't a actual women's tag belt in IPW does make this a little bit more interesting, as nice inverted face buster there by Henley to take control of this match. And it is Henley versus Dakota to start us off. Dakota landing some pretty hefty shots. Obviously, two former champions in this matchup. I believe Dakota was a television champion for some time. Henley, obviously former Undisputed Women's World Champion, the current champ. Sky failing to win, obviously, the red belt only last Sunday. And then JC Jane, arguably the only one in this match that's not been after a championship in IPW. Maybe that fact may change. Obviously, we do have more belts now, with the fact that the television championship only lives on Primetime now, as does the Undisputed Women's World Championship. But if JC's compatriot Jasmine Nix wins later on tonight, and Henley keeps a hold of the belt at SummerLovin, who would JC go for if she wanted championship gold? That's certainly a hard prospect to come up with. There's a roll-up attempt here by Dakota, trying to get the one-up onto Fatal Influence here. Jane watching on, trying to connect as Henley's body in the way. Finally she does. A nice combination ending in that super kick, dropping Dakota down, and JC gonna potentially fly here. Springboard, no, rolling through the middle into a cutter. Nice maneuver there. Doesn't warrant a count though. The referee's slow to it. That's another thing we have to be acknowledging, is just the fact that on Thursday nights there will be new champions, new top stars in IPW. We know that obviously we're getting Will Ospreay on one show in that he's not particularly known for being on, as their top star, their top champion, as the Famouser comes through from Henley, looking to put an end to this match early. Into the pin she goes. 2 count, Io Sky in to break it up. Dakota watching on. Some big boots to the skull of Henley. And you have to feel that this is what Henley's after. And a time to square up against Io Sky. Irish Whip sends the champ out to the ringside, as Io turns her attention to JC Jane, sends her off the apron. Sky heads up top. Henley's taunting, but she's caught with a DDT. Such a beautiful maneuver from Io as Henley misses that spinning European uppercut and gets hooked up. Crossface applied on the outside. Henley breaks the hold, gets her feet, a kick to the boot, to the midsection. And she sends Io back in. JC was coming, also trying to chase down Io. Potentially realizing that submission hold was locked in. Didn't want Henley to suffer. He rolls out the way of that, but gets caught with a shote. Dakota's back in the match, and the moments that we've had Io in, she has been in control, dominating the world champ. But Henley, we know she can just turn it on at a moment's notice, like she's about to here. Hooks up, gut wrench, just a toss over her shoulders, puts down Dakota. Sends her running into the corner. And now Dakota in trouble as JC Jane and Fallon Henley set her up. Shoulder block connecting. And Jane now, first touch of action in this match really. She lands some hefty shots. A striking queen for IPW, the current reigning NXT Women's World Champion in real life. And while not many people rate her as a star, she does bring such high energy, such impactful offense. And Fatal Influence as a unit are just so hard to deal with. I would honestly say a lot better than Toxic Attraction, bringing that new kind of fire, new element to the game as a roll through into the kick to the chest. Jane uncorks some shots, does her work. The striking just puts a hole into Dakota Kai. And now the champion is here to clean up the scraps. The kick to the knee. Hold down connecting. And Dakota, her night may be cut short, and a new member of Fatal Influence could be coming. If it weren't for the fact that Io Sky, still a factor in this match, breaks up the pin. She can't keep the match from bubbling over into Fatal Influence's win because Henley's just busted open Dakota with that bulldog. And now JC Jane gets her. She gets her time in the spotlight. Pinfall attempt for Jane. Looking for the win. 1, 2. A kick out in time for Dakota. Damage control, obviously a unit that brings some high intensity, high flying offense, but they've kind of not been able to get going as Henley runs the ropes through with the big boot put to the skull of Dakota, and Dakota's fighting back. She's taken the waist of Henley, sends her into the corner. Tag and damage control lining up Henley for something. Double arm rake, kick to the gut, kick to the back. Some double shots to the champ. The knee of Henley now in tatters because Io is just working it over. And Sky heads up top. A familiar position against Henley. The moonsault press connects again for the 3rd or 4th time against the champ. Io's got her number, it seems. She is just battering and bruising Henley. No chance to strike. But Henley might have found it through trying to connect, can't do so. Instead, the legs swept out from underneath her. Io firing on full offense, sent into the corner. Now Henley's trying to slow it down maybe. Bring it to her pace, her tempo. Io might have caught her though. Sky sends Henley into the corner. A big boot drops the champ. Tag in, Dakota legal, but Dakota's caught. Henley expected it. And Dakota isn't Io Sky. She isn't potentially on that same level that Sky is to beat Henley. The boot caught. Dakota can't land any offense onto Henley. That basement dropkick is a statement why Henley is on top. Henley can just squash a lot of the talent that's been seen in the television division. She's done it to many women. She has the number of the television champ, for Christ's sake. Natalya could not step up to her. JC Jane, she might be able to prove why. Discus pump kick. And Jane drops Kai. And she's lining her up for a discus forearm. Connecting with ease. The pinfall attempt. Io in and connecting onto the referee as well. Discus forearm from Jane again, trying to clock Io. Not going to be able to do so. Jane connects again with that discus forearm, connecting pinfall attempt. She just uncorked it twice. It's so nice. A pin, a slow count, but bear in mind, the referee still discombobulated. And I'm surprised it was a slow count against JC Jane, considering it was Io Sky who clocked her. Regardless of that, Henley now legal. Fallon lining up the Kai. And Kai's been really the punching bag of the match for Fatal Influence. Nothing's really been done to Io. And Henley, she knows it. She's lining up Kai again. Up, trying to go blockbuster, cannot do so. Kai avoids it. A kick caught though by Henley. Kai may have been thinking chiropractor. Can't go for it instead. The champ tags in JC once more for some high octane, high flying offense. The shoulder block from the top puts down Kai, but JC caught on the follow-up offense. And Dakota has JC lined up. Snapmare into the boot, to the face. Io now legal. And Io can look to fly to the side. Springboard offense inbound, up and down with the drop kick. Io rolling, sends JC into the corner. JC wise to what could be coming, that Spanish fly. Deshote dodged. JC potentially could have the number of Io Sky. Up and over, roll-up attempt. Fatal Influence caught maybe. Trading pins. Neither woman getting more than a one. Jane sends Io into the corner. Fatal Influence back again. Big knees to the body of Io. And I think Io's going for a ride. Nice suplex. And Fatal Influence. The boot caught. That would have been the setup potentially to the hoedown. A German suplex to the champ. This is what we've seen so many times before. Io in control against Henley. The Shote. And now, no, Henley catches Io. Up and down, facebuster. Blood is trickling in the ring. We can see markings. I believe that's from Dakota. It's Henley, tag. In comes JC once again, and I think JC again's going for a flight. Shoulder tackle. And then a nice running senton onto the body of Io. Discus pump kick connects. Io down, potentially out. The pin broken up by Dakota, who avoids that discus forearm. JC tags out, brings in the champ again. Io rolls through, stomp to the body. The champion in trouble. I see big maneuvers as a nice Hurricane Rana from Kai. Puts down Fallon. Hooks her up. Onto the shoulders. Detonation kick. TKO, whatever you want to call it. TDK, whatever it's called. Either way, it's big. It's high flying offense, and Dakota lands it flush onto the champ. And now Damage control, certainly in control. The super kicks in conjunction with one another. Io chasing down Henley, who rolls the outside to buy a little time. Henley in trouble. Nip up from the champ, and a famouser out of it. Connecting to the skull of Io. Dakota's in, breaks it up. Once again, neither team. As Henley again into the pin. What? Not even a one. Dakota saving this matchup maybe. Because Io now has recovered. Stunned potentially from the famouser. Jane can line her up. Io quickly connecting. Shote connecting. And the knee as well. JC now a punching bag in this match. Arguably taking the least amount of offense from anyone in this matchup. But now she's starting to suffer. Io starting to connect. Dakota back in. Big pump kick from Jane. The pinfall attempt. Gets it. And Fatal Influence have a new member. But who will it be? We're about to find out. Well, we'll find out presumably next week. That person has now been drafted to Primetime. Fortunately for Damage Control, their ranks don't grow larger. Let's be honest, a bigger Fatal Influence gives more protection to the champ. And let's be honest, with just JC Jane alone, the champ's got a lot in her back pocket. This matchup had so much Jane finishing offense. It was great from her perspective. Henley, not so much. She took so much punishment. A TKO, a moonsault press. This just was pure bait and catch from Henley. We saw it all tonight from Damage Control.
Here are your winners, JC Jane and Fallon Henley. Fatal Influence.
As we move forward, it's time to move towards some big boy matches here in IPW. Well, let us get into this. The winner heads to Breakdown. The loser stays on Primetime. It's a reverse.
Is scheduled for one fall, making her way to the ring from Yorktown Heights, New York, Mandy Rose.
It's a reverse of our opener. Basically, if you win, you get a big time opportunity on Breakdown. A loss, and well, who knows what happens here on Primetime. But we're starting off introducing the former resolution holder, Miss Mandy Rose, making her way to the ring. She obviously has unfinished business with the champ, but let's be honest, we can talk about her run in the showdown. It was not the best of showings. Eliminated early on in the Gold League. She's here tonight, maybe to put in a statement that she deserves to be here. But she's going up against a rising star in IPW. The current
And her opponent from Honolulu, Hawaii, So Ruka.
the current NXT North American Champion and WWE Speed Women's Champion, Sol Ruca. 2-belt Sol is here, looking to make an impact, a splash, you may say, in IPW. We've seen her compete before, but never really having this opportunity. Going up against the former Resolution case holder, she can potentially make a massive movement towards a top championship match. Remember, a win takes you to Thursday nights to Breakdown. Sol could potentially look to become a first challenger to Liv Morgan. As we get underway, Ruca applying pressure with this headlock. Locked in quite deep. Rolls through. And the action starting off in favor of Sol. Now Ruca, if you've never seen her before, likes a bit of high-flying offense. Likes to bring it to the opponent with speed, velocity. Rose we've seen many a times in IPW, it is power is the name of the game, just striking you down every step of the way. Slight size advantage to Sol here. And this is a dangerous spot if you're Rose. You don't want to be stood near any of the ropes. Whether it's the side ropes, the corner. Sol can utilize them for a lot of offense. Soul Snatcher, which we may see in this match. A potent maneuver just launched from them ropes. The corner as well. And it is such a pretty maneuver that as we see Sol flying, it can potentially shape a match's outcome from beginning to end. There's the count broken. Both women return a super kick, dropping Rose. Mandy, we've seen her competing in top tier matches, and this is kind of Ruca's tester, her chance to get to them kind of opportunities. As it stands right now, she's doing a good job over Mandy Rose. Now, obviously, heading towards Summer Lovin' now, the types of matches we're going to see there certainly are interesting, because we know that every belt will be on the line in some capacity. Whether it's in a tag match, whether it's in a stipulation, we just know the belts are on the line. And coming out of the showdown where, well, champions have kind of had their matchups lost, or like they've lost basically the opportunity, or challenges I should say, because they beat the champ but they don't get anything out of it. Obviously tonight we're going to see some of them winners fighting for belts, namely for the Women's Television Championship. That is our co-main event, alongside the Men's Championship being defended. And that's Randall Keith Orton versus the Demon in the main. That is going to be an epic bout rematch. The rematch clause the Demon enacted to get his championship shot. But focus really right now is on how these two women are fighting. It's been pretty back and forth. Mandy in control right now, putting a lot of pressure down. Nice face buster there. Puts Ruca into the mat. And now lining her up. Kick to the gut. The double underhook. Angel's wings planted and busting open. Sol. That could be it. as Ruka kicks out. Ruka in control, nice flapjack. As these two women giving it their all. Ruka dragging Rose towards the ropes. The referee getting in the way. This is something that, let's be honest, our referees have been pretty big asses in terms of their positioning. Needing to learn where they need to stand as Rose coming through. Big shots connecting. Dropping Soul here. Targeting the bloodied spot on the face of Ruka. This is why Mandy won the Turmoil match. She knows how to realistically push targets. A former NXT Women's World Champion. And just an all-round vicious character. Capable of just taking it to the best as she comes charging in. A big boot. Connecting to the skull of Soul. And Mandy, she's being cocky. She realizes how much control she has, but Ruka catches her. Sweeps out the back leg. Standing moonsault. Connecting. And Ruka has Rose in a potent position. Springboard moonsault misses. Ruka unable to connect. Rose though, big thwapping kick to the side of the face. Dropping Ruka. Rose hooks up the arm. Applying the pressure. Keeping down Soul. The big knees to the back. Mandy sizing up the potential to win. To head to breakdown. A big kick connects. Thursday night's a good home for potentially Rose. A new champion there. Could be a new potential opportunity. Ruka not going to go down easily into the night. Connects. Rose catches her as well. Turns her around. Picks her up and down. Facebuster. Planting Ruka. Sends her running. A big knee. Dropping Soul. And Rose might have got the job done. And dusted. Mandy heads to Thursday night. It's breakdown. Welcomes her with open arms. Finally, Fatal Influence, Toxic Attraction have been split off from one another. Rose isn't the new member of that team. But who does Fatal Influence have in their back pocket? Who have they thought to sign up? We'll find out next week, as we say. As it stands, this matchup, it ended pretty nicely for Rose, just planting down Ruka and then coming through with the knee. Ruka really did not get going. Was stalled out from the get-go. And Rose took control.
Here is your winner, Mandy Rose.
Once again, Rose heading to Thursday night. Soul staying on Tuesdays. Great opening, well, a great bout between those two. Let's move now to the championships. Well, it's time for our first championship bout of the evening. As Maryse making her way to the ring. This is interesting that she is coming out alone, because we know who our tag team partner will be. I'm surprised they're not doing the Mr. and Mrs. gimmick that they have. But yes, Maryse challenging for the championship alongside her husband, The Miz. Face plastered around the ring. You're someone taking a stroll for this big championship match. We saw Stephanie McMahon and Triple H try to take the belts away from the Alpha Academy. They fell short. Tonight, another potent husband and wife combination stepping up to take on the Academy. And this is impromptu in terms of challenging. No real understanding why these two are facing off. It's perhaps been an open challenge to the belt, but we haven't seen any of these stars in over a month. This could potentially be a championship shift. Remember, this is a draft matchup as well. The winner gets to live between two brands. The only two that do are, well, there's two teams that will do that. Our tag belts live between the two shows. So the Usos stay on two shows. And the mixed tag champs do as well. But that could obviously change as these two teams, well, they're vying for it. The losers will go to breakdown. The winners stay in between. Pretty nice. And quite literally, that will be a free Otis, competing where and whenever he wants to. If the Alpha Academy are able to win. There you have it, the mixed tag belts on the line. Let's toss it to Mike Rome for official championship introductions.
The following is a tag team match set for one fall and is for the undisputed mixed tag championship. Introducing the challengers, the team of Maryse and The Miz. And their opponents, the undisputed mixed tag champions, Molly Holly and Otis, the Alpha Academy.
Both teams look ready. The belt's on the line. Referee Miss Kim lofts them above her head as we are ready to get into this bout. Maryse and Molly Holly starting it off for their respective teams. Remember, mixed tag rules are pretty simple. Everyone can face anyone, but we obviously will always start with the women. And from there, how the matchups change, we will see as this match gets underway. Molly Holly makes the early tag to bring in Otis. This is the power game for this team, the Alpha Academy. A powerhouse. Likes to start to dish out damage early. Maurice, conniving, cunning. A capable, dirty fighter. A similar story for her husband in The Miz. We've seen Miz do some crazy things in IPW already. And going up into this match. Certainly a potential favorite team, but Molly Holly connecting to the back of the skull. This is that tandem tag team offense that Alpha Academy brings. Just the potential to catch a target off guard. They are very good at bringing in their opponents to their corner, keeping them subdued. As The Miz now lining up, Otis connecting with the big boot. This is presumably how Miz and Maurice kind of wanted to fight this. The Miz, veteran of the game, I'd say arguably the most decorated wrestler in this match. Two-time Grand Slam champion. And alongside his wife, who is a former Divas champion on 2 separate occasions. Maurice, obviously, I would say alongside Michelle McCool, my favorites growing up in WWE. 2 of the greatest divas of all time. Molly Holly. In this match, honestly, she was before my time in terms of her competing. But she's certainly done some work here in IPW. Showcased why she deserves to hold the belt. Arguably the workhorse of this team. The woman who really just pushes your opponent to the limit. And she doesn't really mind if you're a male or female. She will just beat the living crap out of you, regardless of that. Is Maurice caught potentially here, taunting. A punch from Otis drops her. Smart there by the big boy of the academy, connecting with shots to an unsuspecting target. A target in the wrong side of the ring as well. And this is something that Miz and Maurice, obviously, well, they've had mixed tag matches, or mixed gender matches, I should say, before. They've never had a matchup like this where they can face everyone, or both sides of the matchup. And knowing that a man can hit a woman in IPW in this sort of matchup, it needs to be known, as Maurice brings in The Miz again against Otis. This is arguably the fairer of the 2 matches for him. Tag in, brings in Molly Holly, and this is where we get to see Molly not really give a damn about who she's fighting. Stomping away and going for the pin. Otis stepping out, running to the corner, potentially setting or giving up another tag option for Molly Holly. I think Molly might be taking it. Sends The Miz into the corner. Tag, Otis back in. And Otis gets some free shots. Connecting in the corner, putting Miz into a dangerous situation. Charging in, connecting with a splash. Into the pin goes Otis. The Miz on the ropes. Rolls to the outside, buys some space. Otis trying to chase him. And just flattens him. An easy maneuver there. An easy choice for him to go for that. Just utilizing his body weight to his advantage. He's done it so many times before. Nice short arm clothesline dropping Miz. Miz fires back with a neck breaker. And now lines his target up. Setting him for a boo psycho knee. Driving it into the side of the face. Add in submit kicks. And Otis, his head's been knocked clean off. And into the pin goes The Miz. 1, 2. Kick out in time for the big man. But The Miz, he's got some big maneuvers still left in the tank. Otis needs to catch him. As he sends him into the corner. Miz fighting out of it. Docks a shot. Sends Otis into his own corner. And Miz now tagging in his wife. Got Buster. To Otis. And Maurice now legal. She brings a different style of offense. A big boot. Dropping the big man. Have to be careful for that DDT that Maurice is proud to utilize. Up top, drops the elbow. Otis caught potentially off guard. The combination of strikes coming through. Maurice drops him. Back in comes The Miz. Back and forth action currently sitting in Miz and Mrs.'s corner. Could we get a new champ? No. 2 count there. Frustration starting to settle in for The Miz. Who might have to look for something else. I hear a woo in the crowd as the figure 4 locked in. Otis in trouble. Not gonna tap. But them legs about to snap. Finally pushes off The Miz. Connects with a clothesline. But Maurice getting involved. She's learned from her mistakes in that corner. She just snaps the head of Otis across that top rope. Now The Miz gets to strike. No, he won't. Irish whip's reversed. And he's planted in his own corner. Otis gonna tag out, bringing Molly Holly. Molly can do some crazy things, but if she's caught, no, she fights back. Never mind, she's caught this time. That's just that potent maneuver The Miz loves to utilize. That face buster. It's like a ball game, that playmaker. Speaking of playmakers, the Maurice DDT connects. Not going for the cover, realizing Molly's really close to the ropes. Wise there by Maurice. Now goes for the pin. 1, 2, and a kick out. Or a forced kick out because Otis broke it up. But Otis is caught. Maurice. STO. But she's turned her back to a real opponent. Finally she sends off Molly Holly running. Can't connect. Instead, it's Molly. Big boot. Takes the back. Rear naked choke applied. Maurice locked in. She's caught in it. Fighting out. Miz comes in with a punch. And he still breaks up the pinfall attempt. Unwise there by Miz. He might have broke up the hold, but Maurice was out of it. And pinning. And potentially winning the championship for the team. Slow crawl now for Maurice to her husband, but not going to be able to get it, as instead Molly applying pressure to the knee. Lines up Maurice for something, sends her into the corner. This is a bad situation because Otis now legal. And the Alpha Academy. Target in their sight. Oh my word, what is this? A nice body slam in tandem. Just applying the pressure. Maurice staggered on the outside. Chased, hunted down by Otis, who just puts her onto the barricade. Maurice not staying down for long, fights back to her feet. And this is where the match will start to get a bit crazy. Splash there from Otis. His account gets to 7. Make it an 8. Maurice can't get back in. There's Otis fighting Actually, he's gone to the outside. He broke the count himself. Maurice returns to the ring. All aboard the choo-choo train. The Moose. Bit of taunting between fighters. Otis slow to return. Realizes Maurice has the high ground. A slow count in. Breaks the count. Maurice lines him up. Catches him. Sends him into the corner. Miz now legal. And a target in that corner. He's going to come charging in maybe. No, he's not. He's actually just going to go to the second rope. Up, over, rolling through. Yoshi Tonic. Pinfall attempt. Molly Holly in, breaks it up. The Dance utilize the one breakup they get. And The Miz, he can now strike. Takes the legs, just slamming him into the mat. The knees buckling as The Miz, that shitty little DDT, connects. The skull crushed into the mat. Perhaps a skull crushing finale on the horizon. Otis stays alive. Pushes The Miz off. We may have been going for that figure four. Can't get it. Instead, Irish Whip sends him going. Hooks him up. Backbreaker. Neckbreaker. That combination of offense, signature Miz. It's the big man. Otis in trouble. Losing footing in this match. As The Miz is just getting to a solid position. The Academy struggling. For how much longer is Otis? Hooks up The Miz. Miz fights out of it. The powerbomb not coming through. And instead, The Miz in control, puts Otis on the ropes, and he's just unloading. Otis catches The Miz though. And the action spills out once again. Fired up Otis. Looking. Seeking victory. Looking to retain the mixed tag belts. A slip there from The Miz. That Scorpion Death Drop. Now, an atomic drop. Remember, you can't win the belts on the outside via countout. Miz Weiswit. I hope he is. He breaks the count. Otis could be counted out. And he is. The mixed belt doesn't change hands, but the champs don't win. I have a feeling this matchup, well, it just gets more interesting. Because the loser was meant to go to breakdown. There is no loser in terms of that, because the mixed tag champs stay between brands. Therefore, Miz Maurice stay on Primetime. But I have a feeling that Summer Lovin', these two teams are going to square off once again. An interesting result. But the belt stays with the Alpha Academy. We'll see how this changes, but our next few bouts, well, bar our main event.
Here are your winners, the team of Maurice and The Miz.
The next match, there is no countouts. There is no disqualification. It's a fatal four-way for the women's television championship.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the Undisputed Television Championship.
I might have lied about what matchup was next. This match does have countout. This match does have DQ. However, as the heartbeat fills the arena, we start to understand the stakes of this matchup. It is a rematch for the Undisputed Television Championship of the world. As the Demon who lost the belt during the locked-in match stakes his claim back towards the title. As he goes up against the current champ, a man he could not face in the showdown, Randall Keith Orton. As he makes his way to the ring, the Demon was so phenomenal during that tournament, qualifying as a second seed overall. He made a hell of a run at the showdown to make it here. Just looking at the showdown, night one, he kind of fell short in that matchup against Kenny Omega. Omega, we saw put on one hell of a performance against Rock, obviously falling short in that one, but let's be honest, you don't really expect to beat the Cleaner in that Bullet Club matchup, that rematch there. The Demon, he is looking to be victorious tonight. Looking to stay on Primetime as well. Loser goes to breakdown. Winner stays and is champ. Now, the interesting thing is, we could potentially see both men staying on Primetime. I should point out, countouts, well, they do wondrous things, and we've just seen one in our Mixed Tag Championship bout. If it's a countout victory to the Demon, both men stay. On this show, and they will rematch presumably at SummerLovin. We'll see how IPW management decide that, because we've seen already tonight a mixed tag matchup not end the way it should do. But this match has the potential to end perfectly, as the television champion brings the belt in hand. Randall Keith Orton brings the belt with him. Let's be honest, at the road to the showdown, Randy was pretty good, to say the least. He did fall short to the eventual winner of the entire tournament in the opening round, but that is realistically no real shock, no real thing to be upset about, because Will Ospreay, he was just on another level at the showdown for both nights. So Orton, coming into tonight, potentially looking to snap back, trying to show that he deserves to stay top of this division. We haven't seen really a title defense in this television division in a long time, but we may be able to see one tonight. Let's toss it to Mike Grove for official match introductions.
Introducing the challenger, the Demon, Finn Balor! And his opponent, from St. Louis, Missouri, weighing in at 295 pounds, the undisputed television champion, the Viper, Randy Orton!
The donning the black paint is the Demon. A sight we've seen before. This is his ultimate form. And going for the gold, he lost in a 6-way inside the chamber. A lot of men have wanted this opportunity to get this belt. The Demon has a chance to become a 2-time champion here in IPW. A foot that not many has ever held. Obviously Ospreay, Samoa Joe, and Shawn Michaels, 2-time champions. Only one of them is a 2 different belt holder. There's the Demon looking to be a 2-time television champ. Orton looking to be probably one of the first people to defend the undisputed television championship. As the belts really had many holders in IPW, Orton, I would say, has held it the longest. It isn't until obviously, it doesn't help the fact that obviously we had a full month where no belt defending was happening, but it still makes him probably the longest television champion we've had in IPW. And if he keeps winning, that record keeps growing. As right now, Orton in control, the side headlock position. Balor fighting back to a vertical base, but can't break the hold just yet. He needs to kind of push off Orton, or take the arm, turn it into a hold on the Viper. And this one certainly does damage. STO following suit. Balor into the pin. Demon supernatural powers have been known to show up during his bouts. He has been able to surprise the masses. He's kind of been surprised here because Orton, a similar sort of demon in that regard. Surprise offense is his forte. And an RKO from out of nowhere might be looming. Balor puts Orton in the tree of Joey Lawrence. Puts the boot to his face. Now up and through. Just a neck breaker. Demon's starting to find his footing in this match. Calling his shots here. Orton in trouble, staggered, put in the corner. Demon lining up the back. Can't connect as Orton fights him off. But Orton slow to the punch and Demon a lot quicker. Comes through with a combo. And now Orton fires back with one of his own. Backbreaker into the lariat to the back of the head. This action has been very much back and forth, and Orton, he's coiling up to strike in the wrong direction, but it doesn't really matter. He takes the back of the Balor. Backdrop suplex. Puts down the Demon. And yeah, you have to feel Balor a little upset, obviously losing the belt. During locked in. he didn't really get a chance to hold it for that long. He won it against Jacob Fatu, a man who hasn't really had a chance to get his rematch against Balor, and that's kind of upset Fatu. But Jacob did face off against Randy on the road to the showdown, and he ended up losing in that regard. So it's understandable why IPW management hasn't given Jacob Fatu entry into this match. Instead, it is just the Demon, a man who, in a six-way, losing the belt is an expected outcome in most regards. Not really many men can be favored in that matchup. But yeah, last time we saw these two face was at Locked In, and it didn't end well for the Demon. But right now, it's looking quite good, as he has done a lot of damage to Orton, who's firing back now. Putting pressure onto Balor. Balor. See an opportunity to strike. Has Orton on the rope. Orton catches him. Up onto his shoulder, gut wrench into the neck breaker. And the Viper again coils up. Our referee, perfect position to watch this, as we can't see a goddamn thing. Balor connect, I think, with the knees there. Goes for the pin. One. Easy kick out for Orton. But he is in the sight of a Demon. Balor hooks him up. 19-16. That Impaler DDT connecting in the pin. Inbound for not the win just yet. Balor has a lot left in his offensive arsenal. Like this. Bloody Sunday connects the pin. Not going to come through. Instead, the Demon sends Orton into the corner. Lighting him up, not going to connect though. Orton pushes him away. I thought maybe Balor could have been thinking shotgun dropkick. Instead, the Demon gonna skip that step. Heads up top. Coup de grace! Stomping into the heart of the Viper. The pinfall attempt in. 1, 2. No. Nearly. The television champion's resiliency on another level. As Balor's hit some big maneuvers just in that little flurry, and he's continuing to apply the pressure. The Demon, a difficult kettle of fish to deal with. And Orton, feeling the wrath, he's busted open and now hooked up. A punch to the skull again as Balor heads to the second rope. Up and down, tries to drop the King Kong leg drop. Can't do so. Instead, Orton up, down, Des Perez punches to the skull. A busted open television champion. Bleeding for his belt. Bleeding to try and retain. I thought he may have been going RKO there. It's not going to be that. Instead, it's the Demon in control. Orton in trouble. Stuck in a corner. Stuck between a rock and a hard place. As Balor keeping Orton in check. The pinfall attempt here. Only a 2. And frustration starting to set in. The Demon, though, is in control. Calling his shot. Sling blade through. Rolls into a basement dropkick. Orton. He needs to fight back. He's not been given a chance to, as the Balor may have been thinking power driver. Instead, back dropped. Orton now starting to get back. Power slam through. Puts down Balor. And now RKO connecting. The champ looking to retain the pinfall attempt. Not enough. The Demon might have blew his opportunity. As Orton starting to get going. The kick to the knee there by Balor. Wise takes control, heads up top. And flies through. The coup de grace once again connects. Pin imminent as the Demon regains his championship. Balor stays on Primetime as Randy heads to a new home. It was a big match with epic results, but a new two-time television champion exists here in IPW, and his name is the Demon. Orton was able to only land one RKO in the entirety of that match, but the Demon, he put on the punishment. He kept on fighting, kept on connecting, gains his belt, and yet again another television champion cannot retain in a championship match. Seeing a story starting to form there. But Balor regaining the championship. Perhaps we'll see Fatu versus Balor.
Here is your winner, and new undisputed television champion, the Demon, Finn Balor.
That might not happen, obviously, with the draft happening right now. Fatu probably could end up on Breakdown. We'll have to see. But from one television championship match to another, it's time for the main event. The women's belt on the line. Who walks away as champion, or who walks to a new show? We're about to find out. Let's send it to the main event.
The following contest is a fatal four-way match and is for the undisputed Women's Television Championship.
Well, television championship number 2 online. Woo! 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 And Lyra Valkyria lays claim to the gold, beating Natalia during the road to the showdown. She gets a shot here tonight.
Introducing the challenger from Dublin, Ireland, Lyra Valkyria.
Simply put, this matchup is built up with people who beat Natalia, as well as the rematch clause of Chelsea Green. Woo! 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 I have watched back so many of these matches of Lyra Valkyria, and it's this entrance that gets me every time. The woos, and then the pump up as we begin her, she begins her walk to the ring. And just watching how she's performed. Well, it's not the Undisputed Women's World Championship she's fighting for tonight, where she could potentially be a challenger to Fallon Henley. She is getting a championship shot. Speaking of championship shot, it is championship rematch time for Chelsea Green. losing the belt and locked in. Could she do a Finn and regain the gold here tonight?
And introducing the challenger from Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, Chelsea Green.
Green, we saw put on one hell of a run to get qualified for the Road to the Showdowns, or the Showdown. She did well, but fell short. The opener to, guess who? The inevitable winner of the entire tournament, Liv Morgan. I'm seeing a similar trend between, the two television championship matchups in terms of who's here. Lastly, in arguably one of the matches of the tournament, as mentioned earlier, fighting on behalf of Fatal Influence.
The challenger representing Fatal Influence from New York, Jack Man Nemeth.
Nyx here, coming in with potential victory on her hand. I don't know why she's wearing Liv Morgan gear. Perhaps this is a statement towards Chelsea Green, considering Green was unable to beat Morgan. But hey, it is what it is as we get ourselves ready for this one. Now Green versus Nyx. It's interesting because we also saw Lyra versus Nyx during the tournament. And I need to check my record just to see how that one ended. It ended in a count-out victory for Jasmine Nyx. So there's unsettled business there.
And introducing the champion from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, the undisputed women's television champion, Natalya.
Well, it's interesting to see this match overall. All three challengers have a claim to the belt that's held by Natalya. Now Natalya could potentially win and retain, and that will be interesting. But how is this matchup decided? Who goes where? Simply put, the winner stays on Primetime, the losers to Breakdown. Let's see how this shapes up. As also the two that don't qualify, they go to Breakdown as well. Well, minus Jasmine Nyx. She has to stay here. So actually, I'm wrong. The two that don't... I'm trying to remember how this works. Essentially, Lyra and Chelsea are either going or staying if they become champion. Nyx is staying regardless. And Natalya, if she loses, she's also in the same boat as Lyra and Green. It's so complicated that I forgot that's a rule. But yeah, as we watch this match go on, the referee's already been taken out by Lyra, I believe. Natalya flying from the top, connecting onto Lyra as Nyx working over the arm of Green. This is interesting because this is a first-time matchup between Green and Nyx and Lyra and Green. We've obviously seen Natalya in this match as a roll-up attempt here. Lyra trying to sneak it. And honestly, from my perspective, Lyra, I wanted her to qualify for the showdown. Falling short at last hurdle. Unfortunate there. She deserved to get to the show. But no. ended up missing out barely by a rogue Io Sky and Natalya qualification. It was the Natalya qualification that did it, really. Now, bear in mind, Io went on to perform well, making it to the grand finals. Big knee there by Nyx as the pinfall attempt comes through. In fact, all four of these women in the showdown were pretty good, let's be honest. Nyx Lyra falling short overall in the Teal League. Green qualified, eliminated first round. Similar story for Natalya because she drew the Undisputed Women's World Champion round 1. But let's be honest, everyone really stepped up during the Road to the Showdown. And you have to look back at that Natalya versus Nyx match just to see some of the best wrestling I've seen in decades of WWE games. It was such a great match, the back and forth action, and it was a similar story with Lyra's last match against Natalya. Both the two that are squaring off right now really just stepped up their game when it came to the champions. Nyx really didn't have to against Fallon because, again, they're friends. Same faction, didn't need to. But Lyra, she just was a pocket rocket. And I kind of wish that she gets a championship opportunity like she's getting now a little bit more often. And it's probably why we may end up seeing her in the Undisputed World Championship frame if this does not work out for her. Because again, the stipulation on this match, it's fatal 4-way. Anything goes, anyone can suck for a pin. Everyone knows that these matches tend to lead to belts being stolen as Nyx flatliner connects onto Lyra. Carrier taken down. Green and Natalya running in, charging in the Canadians, taking out the Americans. Well, an American and an Irish woman. A Canadian, an American, and an Irish woman walked into a bar. Ouch. Lyra sent running. Chelsea into the pin. Trying to steal victory. Can't get it. Instead, Nyx up and over the big knee. Connects onto Lyra. Another pinfall attempt. This time, Chelsea using the ropes. Can't take the victory just yet. Nyx lines up Lyra. Kicking the back. Pinfall attempt in. Green has Natalya on her shoulders. Snake Eyes in the corner. Green trying to break up the pin. Finally does so. In time. Now she gets to work over Nyx. The champion we've really not been able to talk too much about. She's been quite quiet in this bout. But there's a German. A released German as well. Onto that kendo stick. The neck of Lyra in tatters. Speaking of in tatters, the legs of Chelsea might be. Sharpshooter locked in. Natalya, the hold's broken up. Nyx connects to stop it. Discus forearm as well. Natalya uncorking some heavy shots. And now stepping through once again. Sharpshooter inbound. Locked in deep. Green, could she tap out here? Lyra breaks the hold. The kick does the job. Natalya bringing Green to her feet. Or to her knee. Connects with the drop kick. Scoop and a slam from Lyra. Michinoku driver from Natalya. Pinfall attempt. 1, 2. Kick out by Valkyria to stay in this one. Natalya looking to retain here. And it's a similar story in the television division in terms of retaining the belt. Not many people are able to do it as Natalya sends Lyra and Nyx on top of one another. Natalya hooks up Green, up and over suplex. Connecting Lyra and Nyx out the corner. A big knee to the back of the head by Nyx to Lyra. And now Nyx in control. Ripcord forearm. It's a Rainmaker. Puts down the champ who rolls to the outside to buy a little space. Staggering out there. She's fired up now. Natalya returns, but Nightwing inbound. Lyra plants down Nyx. Rough Rider as well. Green and Lyra connecting with big time offense. Lyra can scoop up the pieces, goes for the pin. 1. Easy kick out there by Natalya. She should have really gone for Nyx, a woman who suffered the finisher of Lyra. I'm pretty sure the Impridia was broken there by Lyra, avoiding Green's big offense. A pin here onto Lyra, broken up by Nyx. Natalya now in trouble. Big boot puts her down. A Superman punch misses by Nyx, but she is able to land with the combo. Fatal Influence, imagine a second belt in their ranks if Nyx wins this match. And she could be looking there, almost lined up Lyra. Not able to get it just yet. Nyx fights out the grasp of Valkyria. Natalya now getting involved. Takes hold of Nyx up onto the shoulders. Nightwing though, hooked up, connecting, planted into the pin. 1, 2, through! Gnarly! The hand was on the decline there by our referee. Lyra almost became champ. Fired up now. Green the target. Hooked up. Northern Light suplex. Not gonna pin, instead Lyra caught by Nyx. Hooks her up. Flatliner. Nyx into the pin. Natalya with a kendo stick in hand. Breaks the pin up. The champion picking up the pieces, firing up. Lines up Nyx. Steps through. Sharp shooter applied. The champion looking to retain. Lyra breaks it. I think Nyx was about to tap out. Oh my word, what work by Valkyria to keep this match alive. But Green looking to steal it. Backslide into the pin. Not going to end up with the win just yet. As all 4 women back to vertical base. Nyx connects with the big boot. Lyra and Green watching on as they break the pin up. And Natalya's busted open. Lyra caught. Scorpion death drop by Green. Who connects onto Nyx. Combination of strikes. Looking to regain the belt. Scoop of the slam and down she goes. Lyra connects onto the champ. And heading up top. The high rent district. Frog splash connecting. Green. She can break this up. Does so. Lyra can't win just yet. Instead, she's caught by Green. Sent running. Hooked up Rough Rider. Green going to the outside, looking for a weapon. The match getting a little bit more dangerous as the big knee from Nyx misses. Instead, now speared by Natty, who's hit with the chair. Green connects. Weapon in hand. Green looking to just take victory from out of everyone's noses. But a kick out by Nyx keeps the match alive, and Lyra back to her feet. Looking to strike back. Spinning heel kick connects. I thought it connected onto both Natty and Green, but only the one. As Lyra trying to grab hold of Nyx. Nyx with a combo through. Connecting. And now the champion in the sights of Jasmine. Fatal Influence almost certainly sensing a belt coming to them. Pop-up forearm connects. Pinfall attempt. Lyra watching on, breaks it up. Takes out the referee as well. Desperation setting in for all of these women. There's a sledgehammer now in play. Green typically bringing the weapons. Steps through though. Natalya sharpshooter. Referee recovering. It's broken up. Nyx not going to allow that to happen. Discus. Lariat connects. Lyra getting back up. Grabs a hold of Natty. Natty fights out of it. Green getting back up now. Drop kick, the champion rolling, sensing. Time to shine as she picks the legs. Green in trouble. Stepping through. Nix, I think, is getting to her feet. Breaks the hold. No one is going to tap out tonight. As these women refusing to allow a sharpshooter to happen. Nix down. Green down. Hooked up. Frog splash. Connects. Nix needs to go for the pin. No, she doesn't. She breaks up the sharpshooter instead. Wise realizing the referee's attention was on the submission. Pinfall attempt. Natty trying to take it. Can't do so. Green breaks it up. Now. Oh my word. Big boot from Green. Drops Natalya. Nix trying to chase down Green. Can't do so. Instead, it's Lyra connecting. The chair connects. Drops Natalya. Pinfall attempt here. Lyra trying to take it. Nix can't get involved. One. Finally, she does. She breaks the pin up. Natty getting to her feet. Sent back down. Everyone's feeling the wrath of Nix right now, but Green hooks her up. Unpretty her. Connecting. Pinfall attempt in. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, so nearly. Nix, a last gasp kick out. Staying alive in this matchup. Green starting to roll. Is Lyra her target? How is Nix still standing right now? Firing up on the outside. Natalya getting involved into this match. She has a target. Big Superman punch connects. Nix into the pin. Lyra up. Not gonna win just yet. Lyra with a combo dropping down Nix. A super kick connects from Green. Every woman for themselves, it seems, in this match, as no sharpshooter just yet. Natalya can't get it. Nix sends her attention to Valkyria as that's a kendo stick busted on the skull, and that's a floating Chelsea. Pinfall attempt here by Nix. 1. No. Broken up by Green. A scoop, a slam, and down goes Nix. Lyra with a weapon in hand. Busted open as well. Natty dropping Lyra. Rough Rider drops down Nix. Chelsea turns her attention to Natty. Drops her. Lyra getting back up. Green caught. Up on the shoulders is Lyra. Not going to go through. Instead, a European uppercut from Green into the pin. 1. It's broken up instantly. Nix lines up Natty, sends her running, connecting with the knee. Green lines up Valkyria, sets her up. It's an unprettier time. Into the pin. Nix breaks it up. Lyra's been on the receiving end of some hefty punishment, but Nix has her sights set onto Green, goes for the pin. The European uppercut to the back of the head. Could be enough. 1. No. Lyra's back to her feet quite quickly there. Clubbing blow drops Nix. Green hooked up, DDT'd. Valkyria has 2 women reeling. Combination out. Up to the top. Sends down with a Hurricane Rana. Pinfall attempt. Nix in trouble. Natty breaks it up. This fatal 4-way, it's a lot of quick kick out, but this isn't a quick kick out. It's a Nightwing connecting, but 2 women back to the vertical base. Nix breaks it up. Green, unprettier. Easy peasy, dropping Nix. Lyra rolls out. She sees the baseball bat. A big Oakland A's fan is Lyra. She connects to the back of the ankle of Natalya. Green through, big boot. Swinging for the fences is Lyra. Cowering, though, is Green. Realizing she was in danger. Buys some space. As Lyra drags out Nyx. DDT from Green. That could be it. All women down. Gut wrench powerbomb from Lyra. Now she turns her attention to Green. Brings her into the corner. Sets her up, scoop and a slam. Down goes Green. Lyra heads up top. Target set. Shot called. And Valkyria flies through Executioner's leg drop. Cutting the head of Green. Pinfall attempt. 1, 2, 3. And a new champ in IPW. Go Birds. Woo! It had it all from the beginning. No woman wanted to lose. Every moment was an absolute slugfest. Busted and bruised, though, a new champion emerges. Woo! 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 It's only fitting we do that, as staying on to the night is Lyra Valkyria and Jasmine Nyx. Green and Natalya, the two Canadians, taking a trip to Thursdays with unsettled business there. But let's be honest, what a way for Lyra to win. That Executioner's leg drop. Nyx distracted with Natalya, and then this pin. A big victory.
Here is your winner, and new undisputed women's television champion, Lyra Valkyria.
It's about goddamn time. Lyra walks away with a championship in IPW. As night 1 of draft week ends in championship gold for Lyra. We say goodnight. Thanks for joining me for this epic showcase. I'll see you very soon, Thursday night, for the second rotation of the draft. And a hell of a lot more people going to different shows. It's going to be a hard one to explain what Thursday is, but let's be honest, it's going to be knocking butts. I'll see you then. Peace out.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that stack, taking big